Hi guys, I'm Divagante from DC Fan Forums. This is my second video on how to make maps for Half-Life 1 and mods on Valve Hammer Editor 3.4. Today I'm gonna show you how to set up a simple map so you can start mapping. Well, we have configured VHE 3.4 in our last video. So today we can just start File, New. First thing you're gonna notice, you got 4 different views. You got the camera view, we'll talk about it later. The top view, the one you're going to probably use the most. Side view, front view. Logically, since you're working with 3D, when you work on 2 of the dimensions, you always work the third one. Well, I always start a map by going to the entity tool right here. The entities are like the objects of the game, where the player starts, where the ammo is, where the drop weapons are, where monsters are, etc. And notice that here, like where you choose your entity and stuff, this movable tool, the default object is the info place start, the one we have chosen on the configurations. We'll start by adding one where the green lights cross. That is the center of your dimension. If you zoom out with your mouse scroll enough, you'll see it's the center of the map. I always start by doing this because it will give you the dimensions you need. Now notice that the grids may be a bit big for the player itself, so I'm going to go here to change the grid size. I click it always twice, and this is what I do every time I begin a map, because this way I can know the dimensions of a player. The player occupies 4 on high and 2 by 2 on top view. On real game dimensions, it can go through spaces this wide. About the height, notice here in front view, when he is standing, he can go through a space like this. Crouched, he can go in a space with 3 blocks high in a grid of 16. That's 3248 if I'm not mistaken, when crouched. This is also the height the player can jump on a crouch jump, like in Italy map in Counter-Strike. This is the maximum jump height. The length I'm not sure, I'll tell you whenever I can. So, to start, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the tools you have. You have the selection tool. Use it to select stuff on a map. You can also select on the 3D view, I'll talk about it later. The camera view and the magnifying camera tool. You won't need to use it because you can do everything on the camera view, 3D view, texture. Here you got the entity tool, which are the objects I was talking about. Here are the block tool, which are the ground, the walls. You have to use these to make the skyboxes as well. Another thing, you can also turn blocks into some entities, different entities. You can make, for example, imagine you build a 4x4 box, and you want to make it breakable. You make it, then you title an entity, and you make it breakable. For example, these 3 are textures tools. This one is to edit the textures. You can edit one face or choose an object and edit all faces at the same time. This one is to apply the textures you have chosen here to the object you have chosen here. And this is the spray logo. You go to the 3D camera, you aim to a wall, you use this tool, come to the 3D camera and graffiti the wall. It's kinda like that. And this is the clipping tool. Use it for example when you have a block. You use it for example to cut the size. This tool is a vertex tool. It's very useful but very dangerous because it can create massive amount of bugs. Use it to edit the very edges of any kind of block, but beware, because if you do some strange movement you're going to make a lot of bugs and the compiler and the game will crash all the time. You can use triangulation to make for example some more complex hills, but let's talk about that later. And this one is a pet tool. I never use it, not once on my life. I know how it works, but I don't use it. I prefer to do the pet myself. It's simpler, you don't get complicated, and if you need to erase something or change something, you always know where it is. So for now, let's go here, texture group. This is your texture tool. You go to browse, so you can choose the texture you want. You got here by size. This way you can look at pictures better. Let's make it 64. The filter, you can just write a name. Let's for example write wall, and every texture who has wall within his name is going to pop up. The others aren't. It's a filter, of course. There's also only use textures filter. Well, let's choose let's write floor or something like that. Let's choose this one to be our floor. You can easily move your camera on top, side and front views by using your mouse scroll, because it's always gonna unscroll where you have the mouse. See? It unscrolls fairly, then you can scroll where you have. You can easily move your camera. You can also use this. Click and drag doesn't work, but you gotta get used to it. So let's use our block tool. Let's start by making a ground. Notice some white lines are bigger than others, because you're always going to find 8 by 8 blocks, because on Half-Life everything works as a multiple of 8. So let's start by here. So wait up for part 2, because I think YouTube videos only hold up to 10 minutes. Be right back.